Price. We're so glad you could attend. Come inside, come inside.
Welcome back to The Price of Business. I am your host, Kevin Price. I'm going to try to get Mark Pogue queued up to be on the program here in the fourth segment. I want to talk to him a little bit about Cleveland's story, about Cleveland's plight, and have him be a part of the program here in the fourth segment. We're going to get him to call in here shortly. But before we do that, I'm going to go straight to one of my favorite guests to talk about what's going on with the sales and marketing environment. That, of course, is Walter Rogers with Baker Communications. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing outstanding, Kevin. How are you today?
Yeah, and by the way, I said third segment, I think, but I meant fourth segment for him. Third segment for you. We got to do you right now because you're here and ready to go, and always got great information for us. Tell us a little bit about what you got queued up for us, my friend.
Well, we're going to start with a little baseball quiz, and I think you're a baseball fan, right, Kevin?
I love baseball, but you could embarrass me. Let's try it, though.
All right, well, let's just see. So which pitcher gave up the most hits at 7,092, the most runs at 2,147, and lost more games, 316, than any other pitcher?
It's going to be a great one. It's going to be someone like Nolan Ryan.
Cy Young.
Cy Young. There you go.
Who also, by the way, won 511 games, which is more than any other pitcher in the history of Major League Baseball.
That's right. That's right.
Now, do you think he had a positive attitude?
Absolutely.
Today's topic, positive attitude. And, you know, we've been talking about the 11 habits of highly successful sales professional, and I've got to tell you, they're all important, every single one of them. But if you don't have a positive attitude, you're likely going to have some challenges, and it's really easy to when things aren't going well, right? And we've been talking about the economy for, you and I for a couple months now. We know things aren't great. They're supposedly getting better. Maybe they're getting worse. It's hard to say. Some industries better than others. But when things are going poorly, it's really easy, personally, to assume that they're going to continue to go badly, right? It's human tendency. When things are good, they'll always be good. When things are bad, they'll always be bad. And maintaining a positive attitude as you're working your way down this downturn to get you out of that is just absolutely critical to getting yourself in the right shape mentally, physically, in all ways to really do a good job with your customers. And we've got a great guest on today. His name is Greg Banks.
Hey, Greg. And
he is the Director of Sales with J.B. Hunt Transport. And J.B. Hunt, for those of you that don't know who they are, they're the largest truckload carrier in the country and the largest train carrier in the world at roughly $4 billion in sales. And let me tell you, that has not been a pretty business lately. So Greg's going to share his insight about how he maintains a positive attitude. Greg, how are you?
Great. Hey, Kevin, how are you?
Good to have you gentlemen on the program. I do want to mention real quick, I love your Cy Young comparison. You got similar ones, who made the most strikeouts of all time, Babe Ruth, who threw the most brick shots in basketball, Michael Jordan. And, part of being successful is living a little risky as well. Cy Young did that well as well, going ahead and making pitches, even though it may have been against his own interests. So it's a phenomenal idea. It goes back to the old adage, the one who makes the most mistakes wins. You got to be willing to put yourself out there. That's part of that positive attitude.
Yeah, it really is, and Greg's got a really great perspective on all this, Greg. Greg, why don't you share a little bit about what we were talking about before the show?
I agree with you guys 100%. This is, with the industry the way it is, trucking industry, trucking sales, we're in a slump like most of the economy is, and it's just a fight to be the best and to have success. There's tons of opportunities being thrown at us. We lose them. How we respond to that and get back on that horse and ride again is what makes, I think, good to great. And I like to run, and so I like to refer a lot to running. It's like the wall. When you hit the wall and run a 3K, you have a choice. You can stop and give up, or you can run through that wall and ultimately win. And by practice, by running each day, that recovery time is how we respond quick, get back on that horse, and, of course, run again. And that's truly what makes good to great in my eyes.
Yeah, very, very important, very, very important. And so attitude is huge, particularly in an economy like this. How do you talk to a sales team in an economy like this to keep them looking long-term rather than just the immediate?
You got to encourage them. Salespeople are very emotional based, so negative is very contagious and can bring them down. my team, it's always about encouraging. We have sales meetings. I want to talk about the positive things. If they've got negative things to talk about, I want them to offer a solution to fix that problem. But it really comes down to how we inspire, how we lead these people to be the true winners of what's going on. So, again, this is what separates the good from the great. So many people get discouraged because the customer said no. We look at it as deliberate practice. Okay, now here's why they said no. Let's win the next one. And you really become a cheerleader all the time in this type of economy, and it truly wins.
Yeah. Kevin, if I could just jump on top of that, this whole thing about salespeople being emotionally based, boy, isn't that the truth, right? And here's the thing, the way in which your emotions are going to control your attitude. And situations don't cause emotions. It's what you believe about the situation that's going to cause your emotion, and then your emotion usually determines how you're going to react.
That's right.
The old adage, as a person thinketh, so is he. And so that is particularly true in the sales field.
Yeah, it really is. And controlling those emotions, looking at things for what they could be instead of what they are, is really a key to unlocking it, because it's all about patterns. Everything's about a pattern, and we're going through a business cycle. We'll be through another one again at some point in the future, right? So we know things are going to get better, but sometimes it's hard to remember that. And Greg, can you maybe think of an example you can share with the audience about a time like in maybe the last 12 months where you had something?
Recently, just a couple months ago, we thought we had the wow factor. I had most of my team. We went into this call, big opportunity for us. We had prepared, we presented, we had confidence, and went in and lost the opportunity. It was a huge hit for us. We banked on it. Maybe got overconfident. Came back. I had to lead. I had to step up and say, all right, guys, here's what's happened. I'm just as disappointed as you guys are. It reminds me of Winston Churchill. I told him we can never, ever give up. We've got to take this opportunity, find out where we messed up, learn from it with more deliberate practice, and win the next one. And sometimes it's just you got to push yourself. Even though you're discouraged, someone's got to take lead and step up and say, you know what, not giving up, let's go again. And it's amazing what people your people you work with, and they see that, they want to follow that. It's so contagious.
Yeah.
That's true leadership in my eyes.
No question about it, and that's exactly what we're talking about. Walter Rogers here from Baker Communications, great guest, helping us navigate through this process. So, what do you see happening in terms of the landscape of your particular business?
As far as the industry and trucking?
Yeah, or your company in particular.
We are staged pretty well, positioned pretty well. J.B. Hunt Transport is, we think of J.B. Hunt Transport, a trucking company. We're actually a intermodal company. We move a lot of train, and so when costs go up, people want to move on train to cut their cost. And so we've positioned ourselves through this downtime very well as a company, and we'll weather through strong. A lot of companies did not. They're strictly in the trucking side, and when you have an economy like this, they end up going out. So J.B. Hunt Transport will grow from this and become even better as the economy turns back.
Well, economies like this are full of opportunity that people don't even think about, and because they're too busy in being in survival mode. My company has actually grown significantly over the last years, and I'm sure you've seen that too, Walter.
Yeah, absolutely. We're actually 100% ahead of the year before. So you look at 2009 numbers, we're about to pass all of 2009. We'll pass them in about a week.
Yep, no question about it.
And it's all about perspective and attitude, right? Going back to what that situation shouldn't control your emotion. It's what you do with it. And just like you, Greg, just like you, Kevin, we approach the same with this situation with the same look, which is this is an opportunity to take market share. This is an opportunity to innovate. This is an opportunity to serve our customers in a different way, and all of us are benefiting from that. And I bet you J.B. Hunt will come out of this much stronger than going into it. Probably take market share from weaker competitors that are, trying to figure out how to get by.
Yeah, I would like you to give, if you don't mind, give the contact information, the website, if you would, for J.B. Hunt.
Sure, it's www.jbhunt.com.
Well, again, that's www.jbhunt.com. And again, kind of give us that 30-second minute elevator speech of what you do for people.
Well, we provide value, solutions, answers, find out what the needs are, and provide value. And it's not anymore. It used to be a lane file and rates. Today, we've got a phenomenal system that can provide, again, value to that customer, ultimately bringing profit in a downturn economy.
Yeah, very, very good. I think that's very exciting. And you see a lot of stories like that. And what I think what companies need is just a competitive edge. And they really need to evaluate with great scrutiny how they've done things before. And sometimes they need to bring in third-party objectivity, which is what Baker Communications is all about. Walter?
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes you can't see the forest from the trees. Sometimes you can't even see the tree from the bark. So,
and all of us sometimes feel like dogs, and we need to bark. So
that's true.
Very good stuff, Walter Rogers. Very good stuff. By the way, he's got a series of columns there in the works at priceofbusiness.com. He is just methodically bringing more and more content, setting new standards, particularly when it comes to integrity and attitude that I think are that really makes you guys the industry leaders. And I think you got a book in the works, and I love what you do there. I appreciate it very much.
I appreciate it, Kevin. Thank you. And I'm excited about our guest next week. It's the president of Capital One Bank, Texas, and we're gonna talk about selling with integrity.
Very, very good. And I'm looking forward to having lunch with you this afternoon, by the way.
Absolutely. I'm heading your way as soon as I hang up now.
Sounds good. All right, Walter Rogers, that guy knows his stuff. I tell you right now, he's obviously forgotten more about sales and customer services than I've ever known. And I've always considered myself fairly savvy in those areas because I worked a lot in sales. I actually used to do a column on selling at one point in my life. And so it's one of my pet passions. I believe there's no more noble profession than the unique information and confidence building that comes in sales. All right. You can learn more about him at bakercommunications.com, and I suggest you do just that. All right, I've got Mark Pogue, my good friend. He's coming up next. He's coming to Houston in 16 days. We're going to help him change his life, but we're also going to learn about what he's leaving there in Cleveland, Ohio, right here on Talk 650, powered by CBS Radio.